Hi everyone, this is Chris from Numark here at BPM 2013 on DJkit TV. Here at BPM 2013 we have a lot of great new products, and for the first time being shown in the UK we're showing off the NS7 II live and in action right here at the BPM show. The NS7 II is our latest. It's the best built controller on the planet. It's designed around what we did previously in the NS7. You have your motorized platters, you have, of course, all your standard features like your high-resolution pitch faders, your high-end crossfader. It's a 4-channel unit where the previous was 2. This is a 4-channel unit. And of course, with 4 channels, you can do so much more. So what I want to do right now is show off a few of the features that are here on the brand new NS7 II. For instance, some of the things that we brought, the most obvious thing, of course, you're going to see right here are the pads right in front of you. These are MPC pads, genuine MPC pads, taken from our Akai products. And with these MPC pads, you can trigger things with great ease. So I'm going to grab a cue point right now. So really responsive. Actually, they're also velocity sensitive. So in certain aspects of this unit, that velocity sensitivity will come into play, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute. So you have your hot cues. On the flip side of your hot cues, you have your cue looping. So automatically a loop will play on that cue point. I got a loop going. I'm going to make that loop a little bit tighter. Maybe I'll go back to the first cue point, run a loop on that. All right, and release the loop. So there you go. So on the flip side of cues, we have cue looping. Next, let me show off the next set of features here on the pads. First feature is your automatic looping. So automatic looping is pretty straightforward. Each one of the pads has its own set of parameters for how long the loop length should be. Just by hitting the pad itself, it'll run a loop. On the flip side of that, of course, is roll. And roll is basically, it engages the slip mode. So it allows you to do that automatic loop with the slip mode only while you're holding the pad. So as I'm pressing the pad, it's creating an automatic loop and it's releasing to where it would have been had I not pressed the pad in the first place. The next mode on the pads is the looping functionality. So inside the looping functionality, you have your standard looping. In, out. Okay, not a very perfect loop, so let's fix that loop. I'm going to hit the out point again. There and grab my wheel, I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. So we'll make it a perfect loop. Maybe I want to cut that loop in half. And with the parameter buttons over here, I can do all sorts of great stuff. I can actually shift the loop to the right if I want. I'm going to shift it to the right again. Maybe I'll go back. So I have all sorts of control over my looping right here. The other thing I can do, of course, is I can save my loop. So why don't we save a loop? In, out, in. So now over here, you can see right here on the software, I put in a new loop point. So now I've saved that loop point. So when I release the loop, I can go back again just by hitting my reloop. And that's saved right here on the pads too. So that's my saved loop. On the flip side of loop, I have the second of my 8 savable loops. And this is all possible with inside Serato's DJ software, which of course is the latest standard in DJ software. Next on the decks over here, I have the sampler. Sampler's great because I can actually play back my samples in 2 different ways. I can either play them back at full volumes. I have a bunch of drum hits on here. Let me bring out the song right now. So you got your standard, you got samples set up here on the deck, and I'm going to actually, let's see it on the software too. So here are the samples that are set up right now inside the SP6 sampler. So I'm triggering all those from the MPC pads. So I can hit them all the time. No matter how soft I hit it, it'll always be the same volume, or I can flip it over. And now I'm going to velocity sensitivity. Now when I touch it light, you can barely hear it, a little louder. So I can play back, I can create new rhythms and things like that if I want on the fly with what's going on. Next on the pads is the slicer mode. Slicer has two different modes on the NS7 II. First mode basically is your standard slicer, which is basically in time going through what's going on in the software. So this is regular slicer. Now I'm going to flip it over. Well, first thing I want to do, I want to tighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to tighten it up a little bit. So you can see I've tightened it up. Now I'm going to put it into a loop. And all I got to do is just hit the slicer button one more time. Now I have it in a loop. And now when I go trigger my stuff, I can basically play different parts of the couple measures of music that I've grabbed. So there you go, I've released the loop again. So that's 10 different modes here on the MPC pads that are built into the NS7 II. Now, that's just the first thing. There's a whole lot of great stuff going on inside the NS7 II. Let's get into the capacitive touch knobs, this great new technology that we've added. Also, from our MPC technology, the capacitive touch knobs allow you to do all sorts of great things. For instance, I can kill everything that's going on, or just my bass, or just my mids, or just my highs. So basically this brings the kill functionality back into Serato DJ. The other thing I can do with my capacitive touch knobs is I can actually instantly activate effects. So what I want to be able to do right now, I have effects signed over here on the first effects bank, and we're going to throw that on the screen. There we go. So got an echo going on. So when I go grab the knob and go move it, now you can hear that echo coming in. Only while I'm touching it. If you take a look over here on the screen, it'll show you, for instance, let's look at the delay rate there. As I'm touching the knob, you can see it's flashing. I'm not touching the knob. Now I'm touching the knob. Now I'm not touching the knob. And let's go back with our strip search earlier in the track. So there you go, capacitive touch knob. It's really great because then you can just grab the knob in one action and also activate the effect and tweak it and do anything that you want to be able to do with it. All right, you'll also see on the NS7 II that we have filters. So, of course, you want to do your standard filtering. I'm going to go back again. Let's go back earlier in the track here. There we go. Good. All right. So, your standard filter, creating the swoosh sound. Now, I have filter modes on this also, so it gives me a lot of great control. One of the first effects is basically a filter plus a roll effect. So I'm going to activate that right now. Wait for some track to come back in. Here we go. Now, only activates the roll while I'm holding on to the knob. When I let go, it's going to release it. So there you go, that's filter roll. The other thing I can do with this, which is really, really, really cool, is I can activate my effects with my filter. So that's the second mode. And so I'm going to basically adjust this effect as I'm adjusting the knob. So as you can see, the parameters being adjusted. So I have an echo and a filter going on at the same time. And that's filter effects. Alright, now, of course, this is the NS7 II, so there's other great features that have been added to this. Like I said, it's 4 channels. It also has a full 4-channel mixer, so I can plug in external inputs like turntables and CD players and other things in the back and mix them in with everything that's going on. I have another microphone, a separate microphone here on the front, So if I have a DJ mic and I don't want to get it mixed up in everything else that's going on over here, I can run that completely separately with an on-off switch. Over here I have my crossfader assignments as well as my crossfader curve adjustment. And down here, of course, I have my headphone controls where I can blend everything. And of course I have split queuing on this too, because you can't be without split queue. And this is the NS7 II. We're showing it here at BPM 2013. First time in the UK. We're very excited. And it's going to be in your hands in the next few weeks.